Good morning, Knicks Nation. Today is Thursday, the 10th day of November, 2022. I hope you're all healthy and safe today, and I hope that the needs of you and your family are being met today. Please remember the people that are in the path of this tropical storm slash hurricane that we're dealing with here in the Florida area. We just had a hurricane, a few weeks ago, and now a tropical storm is not as devastating as a hurricane, but it still can cause flooding, and it definitely can cause damage. And so we're under in my particular area, we're under the storm watch until 4 o'clock today. But for some, it's more, especially those on the coastline of Florida, and it apparently could go up into Georgia as well. So you remember those people in your prayers. Appreciate it. Blessings also upon those that are in the healthcare field and the first responders who are out here doing things like helping people in storms and risking their lives. Blessings also upon those that pick up garbage for us to keep streets and sidewalks and highways clean, and those that make deliveries, sometimes even in storms, for our convenience. Double blessings on the men and women that are trying to help rescue, recover, and deliver the teenagers and children that are the victims of child molestation and pedophilia. The victims also of pornography and child pornography. The victims also of prostitution and child prostitution. The victims of human trafficking and sex slavery, and double curses on the perpetrators, the profiteers, and the perverts who make this market in human flesh. Finally, blessings upon the homeless. Nearly 600,000 men, women, and unfortunately children also, who are homeless right now, and millions around the world in similar or worse conditions. Blessings upon them also, for theirs is the kingdom. There was a basketball game last night. It was in Brooklyn. The New York Knicks played against the Brooklyn Nets. Almost wish there wasn't a basketball game. They got slaughtered. They got stomped. It was ugly last night in Brooklyn for the Knicks. It was ugly. In many ways, this was worse than last week when the Knicks lost after being up by 23 to Atlanta at Madison Square Garden. That was really bad. But with that, you say, okay, they got to learn to hold the lead. They got to play better defense to hold the lead, right? So that's a simple fix. This was an old-fashioned beatdown, okay? Old-fashioned beatdown. The thing is, when you're the Knicks, okay, you do not have a superstar. And a lot of people are crying for a superstar. And I keep telling y'all, that's not going to help us right now. The reason it's not going to help us right now is because you have to develop what you have to play around a superstar. A superstar, like last night, witnessed Kevin Durant. So you had Kevin Durant last night, and Kevin Durant was unstoppable last night. Now, Cam Reddish, we thought that Cam Reddish would be the guy they put on him, and they did. It was very quickly understood that Cam Reddish could not handle Kevin Durant one-on-one. Well, to be honest with you, Kevin Durant is arguably one of the top 5 or even maybe top 3 players on planet Earth. Offensively is where his reputation is offensively, and it's almost impossible to stop him. So Cam had a hard time. Okay, I don't blame Cam for that. He was trying his best. And it was taking all of his energy. Cam didn't even score last night. He was taking all of his energy to try to guard Kevin Durant. But what you saw, you had Kevin Durant surrounded by Royce O'Neal, Claxton, Joe Harris, some cat named Sumner that was killing Brunson last night. Then you had the bench of Keith Morris, David Duke, Kessler Edwards, Sharp, these guys, and then you had Ben Simmons really, and Seth Curry was a big, Seth Curry, Cam Thomas, and Ben Simmons. Those were the big players. They actually went 8 deep for the Knicks last night, for Jock Vaughn. And okay, when you have a Kevin Durant, all of those other players become better, because what happened last night, and this is an example, Kevin Durant, could score at will on anybody. Okay, there is no player in the NBA that can stop Kevin Durant one-on-one. So Cam was not going to be able to do it. He tried. But then soon after, the Knicks switched their strategy, if you notice, and they started doubling Kevin Durant to get the ball out of his hand. At that point, the rest of the team really has to hustle. You have to move because he's going to find the open man. And you got to be in the vicinity of your man while trying to help on him. It's not easy, but that's why you get paid millions of dollars. So they did. They started doubling Kevin Durant. Kevin Durant started finding shooters. Kevin Durant had 12 assists last night because he was finding the open shooters. And they were nailing their three-point shot. The Knicks, okay, Tom Thibodeau, defensive coach. I believe that. I've seen too much evidence of it. He hasn't forgotten how to coach defense, but something is wrong. Something is wrong, okay? Because there is no way. And I'm going to tell you what I think the problem areas are right now. Look, let's be honest. Jalen Brunson is a point guard we haven't had before, okay? Yes, he is. But when he's not playing point, it's useless. What do I mean by that? He was forcing shots last night. There were a couple of possessions where he dribbled the ball the entire 24-second clock. I mean, without passing it. Dribbled the whole 24 seconds. You will not get a successful, and that's what I mean. When you do not have a superstar, you must play as a team. Okay, you must get everybody involved. You need to have 5 players in double figures every game, which means everybody's touching the ball. You got to have that. An example of that is the San Antonio Spurs. Now, last night, just as an example, okay, last night they played, wasn't it last night San Antonio played? Let me just double check this here. San Antonio lost to Memphis last night, okay? They lost to Memphis by 2 points. But look at this. They lost by 2 points to Memphis in the overtime. Okay, tough game. San Antonio is now 5-7, 2-5 at home. They're playing a rookie, Jeremy Sohan, at the starting power forward. They're playing Devin Vassell at the shooting guard. They lost the game, right? But they had 7 dudes in double figures. There's no superstar on San Antonio. They had 7 dudes in double figures, all 5 starters, along with Jay Rich, Josh Richardson, and Bassey had 10. They had 7 guys. He went 9 deep, and they had 7 guys in double figures. See, so even in the losing effort, which was only a 2-point loss to a really good Memphis team in overtime, they had 7 guys in double figures. The Knicks have to play this way. They have to, because you see, they don't have the superstar. See, when you have the superstar, you get a Luka Doncic or you get a Kevin Durant. And what that means, as far as being the superstar, is they could score on, and no one person can guard them, period. Okay. And it's very difficult, as you saw with Kevin Durant last night, to double them because they're going to find the open man. They're going to make people better around them. Now, the Knicks don't have that. They don't have that. Okay. So they have to. The ball must move. This I blame on Jalen Brunson. Period. Okay. And this is the second time we've suffered a loss like this when he's trying to play hero ball. Okay. I don't blame Thibodeau. Thibodeau trusts Brunson. And I like that Thibodeau trusts Brunson. But somebody better talk to the young man. He's got to be a point guard, not an attacking shooting guard from the point guard position. Okay. When he plays point and we get, like we did the other night, 26 assists, the Knicks are really good. Okay. But when he's trying to attack without passing, it ends up like this. He was 4 of 14 last night, 1 of 5 from the 3-point line, 5 of 5 from the line because he's a really good free throw shooter, negative 22, and the whole team suffers as a result of that. See, and what happens, because he's the engine that drives everything, he's got to set the tone. No, Julius Randle had a terrible game as well. He was negative 29, but he scored 24 points, had 11 points. Julius gonna give you that. And some bonehead plays, and yes, he had 4 turnovers. He gonna give you that. But what happens is you don't want to have him turn into that dude. And how you stop it is you move the basketball. You make sure everybody touches the ball when they come down the floor. Okay. Jalen Brunson hasn't been doing it. And the losses, this is the common theme that I've noticed. He starts to play hero ball. Okay. And I guess my long-term prognosis here is that he'll get better. I believe he's going to get better. There are some people that are claiming he was never a point guard. Y'all don't know what you're talking about. In Dallas, he did not have to be a point guard because you got Luka Doncic. Okay? But in high school at Villanova, he was the point guard. Okay? And he could do that here. He just needs to do it. Secondly, we were, not just us, but Ian Begley pointed out that there was a concern about a Fournier-Brunson backcourt because of the defensive inefficiency, right? The defensive lack of defense that you would get from such a pairing. So they removed Fournier and they put Cam Reddish in, defensive stopper. But last night, if you were watching the game, they attacked this dude Sumner, who I never heard of. I never heard of this cat, man. It's not like he's a number one. Let me just look at it. It's not like he's some number one overall pick or anything. This guy, Edmund Sumner, I'm trying to find, I don't even know where this cat is from, man. Who is this dude? This dude was drafted. He came out of Xavier. Okay, he's 26 years old. Second round, 52nd pick overall in 2017. And he was destroying Brunson last night. Just coming right at him. Okay. And then whenever Brunson would be off him a few steps, nailing his 3-point shot. See, this is a problem. This is a problem. Now, a problem, let me just explain what I mean when I say a problem. Okay. I am not expecting the Knicks to be Eastern Conference finalists this year. I told y'all that. This is the year 3 of the rebuild. I'm expecting 45 wins. Okay. I'm expecting 45 wins, and let's put up a fight. Maybe we can win a first round series. Now, if teams are going to attack him like that, Tibbs has got to hide him. Okay. Now, last night, this was the problem. You had Sumner, Harris, Claxton, Royce O'Neal, and Kevin Durant. You got to double up Durant, right? You want, in that scenario, you want Brunson to guard Harris, Joe Harris. You want him to guard Harris. Why? The same reason that they had the leprechaun guarding Bullock in the playoffs. Because Joe Harris is not going to beat you off the dribble, so you just got to basically make sure you're in front of him. He's going to cut without the ball, but you got to stay with him. Brunson could do that, okay? You do not put him where he's going to get this dude. Sumner was attacking him, getting in the paint, and just, you know, he was making Sumner look like he was Chris Paul. It was ridiculous. Okay. So that is a problem. That's how you hide him. You put him on a guy like a shooting guard that's a spot up shooter like a Joe Harris or a Bullock. And then you put somebody else on Sumner and any of the other 4 dudes. And you have to funnel the ball away from Kevin Durant. It's not easy. But like I said, this is how you got to play high level defense. You in the league now. So they got to be able to do that. Now, there was another problem that arose last night. That was a major issue in my opinion. You cannot shoot 65% from the foul line and think you're going to be in an NBA basketball game. Now, this is the second issue aside from Brunson. I have to tell y'all, in my opinion, they did not come focused and ready to play this game. They did not. Randall missed 3 free throws, 2 in a row at one point. RJ was 4 of 8 from the free throw line. That's 50%. That's not a lack of ability to hit the shot because RJ's been shooting 80%, something 75% this season. No, this is a lack of focus, and that is a major problem. See, you don't have to be the best team in the league, you know, right now. You're just rebuilding, see? But you definitely got to come to play every night. You have to come to play every night. Okay? So the lack of focus led to a lack of effort. Sims and Reddish put in work last night. It doesn't show, like Sims only had 7 points. Reddish didn't score, but they were really trying defensively against Brooklyn. But you need more than 2 dudes to come forth, in a defensive effort. First was Brunson's lack of leadership as a point guard. Second was the lack of focus. Third was the turnovers. Julius, as I mentioned, had 4. Brunson had 3. RJ had 3, but they were ugly turnovers, man. Like stupid turnovers, like turnovers that you didn't have. It wasn't like you threw the pass and the dude wasn't looking and that's a turnover. No. They were bad passes. Bad passes. Jumping in the air, spinning in the air, trying to throw the ball. These things are problems. Now, what can be done about these problems? Right now, I don't know. They're not going to bench Brunson. They can't. Okay, he's going to play. Okay, so you got to develop a scheme to protect him. You cannot have him on point guards that's going to destroy him. Okay, you got to have somebody else there. You got to use, and again, you got to bring a stopper to slow these guys down a little bit. D Rose isn't that guy. That is Deuce McBride. So you would have needed to bring out Deuce a little bit more rather than D Rose last night. Or, Quick is another guy. Quick is playing some good defense now. So you could have put Quick on him too. Grimes played all of 5 minutes last night. I don't know. Tibbs says he's available, so I have to go with that. I don't know. But to me, you got to play more Quickly and Grimes. Or Deuce. I don't think they're going to play Deuce, but because he's behind Quick and Grimes in the depth chart. But you got to play some defense. You got to bring some defenders out there. That's what I'm saying. Cam, even though, like I said, he didn't score, you're not going to maybe get offense from him right now, but he's playing some defense. I mean, look, like I said, if you're watching the game, he had his hands full against Kevin Durant. He had his hands full, okay? So you're going to have to, when you play a guy like that, you're going to have to get the ball out of his hands. And they started doing that. But the other guys have got to be able to move. Julius, especially Julius, Brunson, and Barrett. These are the 3 de facto leaders on the team. And no, they weren't getting it done defensively. They just weren't ready. Now, Brunson always brings the effort. I will give you that. Brunson, and it shows his free throw. He's 5 of 5. But that hero ball stuff ain't going to work. And he has got to get everybody involved in the offense. Barrett and Randall, I don't know. They just weren't showing up last night. They just did not show up last night in terms of their mental situation. Like I said, I'm not just talking about the 4 turnovers. I'm not just talking about the missed free throw. Just in general, just overall, they just weren't on their game last night defensively. You got to see offense, and Tibbs said this after the game. Offense comes and goes. Some of y'all use every excuse. Fire Tibbs. You're so stupid sometimes. You know what? You can't just keep firing coaches. You can't. At some point, the players have got to play. Okay? And we got enough talent. I'm not saying we got enough talent to go to the Eastern Conference Finals. We got enough talent to win 45 games. But dudes got to play. And they got to play the right way. I hate to sound like Larry Brown, but that's true. They got to play the right way. Okay? So Brunson, number 1, he's got to get everybody involved. Julius Randle, I feel like Brunson can keep him in check if Brunson is passing the ball and leading the team as a point guard. Randle will get out of control thinking he has to play hero ball if you don't do that. And that's what happened last night. Barrett, you got to come better, man. You got to come correct. It's got to be better. And I know he could do it. I'm believing he could do it. He just didn't show up last night. He wasn't. No, the 16 points don't mean anything. The 6 rebounds, okay, he was okay. But look, man, overall, if you're watching the game, some of them turnovers. And oh my God, man, come on, baby. This is the league now. I know you're 22, but you've been in the league 4 years now. Come on now. Let's get this together. I was not happy. Okay. And I know Tibbs was so mad. He didn't say anything. I mean, you could just see it in his face. He was boiling. Okay. And he should have been. So I don't know. I mean, I don't know what he's going to do. I don't know. Brunson's going to play. Got to play Brunson. You're not going to sit him. Okay. Hopefully you get us some more Quickly and Grimes up in this piece. Fournier, because of the lack of defense, and we need defense, and I'm not trying to blame Fournier. He would come with effort. In fact, he was one of the few that was given effort last night. He just does not have the ability on defense to do what I just said. If they double somebody, you got to get back to your man. You got to be in the vicinity, man. You got to know where your man is, even when you double him. If you show, you got to get back, okay? And he's not that guy, okay? So you got to play some more Quick. You got to play some more Grimes, especially if you're not going to play Deuce. I would go less D Rose. I would go less Fournier and more those other two guys. That's a shot at it. They really are missing Mitchell Robinson right now. That Claxton, I mean, he's all right, but he ain't that good, man. And he was looking again. He 12 points, 6 boards. He had a block. There's a reason they were 4-7, okay? Before they played the Knicks last night. There's a reason, okay? They're not as good as all that. If you could get the ball out of Durant's hands and make the other guys beat you, and you're playing head up good enough against the other guys, you could beat the Knicks. It's just that last night the Knicks let Durant out the bag and he wasn't getting back in. That was it, baby. He was going off. His 29 points looked even more than that, and it looked easy. Like he wasn't, it wasn't nothing. They doubled him, boom, he hit somebody, boom, 3-pointer. Okay, they were raining 3-pointers. They hit 14. It seemed like more. The Knicks hit 12. It seemed like less. It was terrible. It was bad. It was bad last night. The Knicks were actually shooting. The Knicks actually shot 28% from 3, whereas Brooklyn shot 41% from 3. Okay. So Friday they played Detroit. It's another game they got to win. And right now, I'm still sticking with because I see some of y'all don't believe. Some of y'all want crap on your coach, want crap on your team. Look here. I'm going to believe they're going to get better. I'm going to believe Tibbs and his crew are not going to rest until they get better. And I'm thinking they win Friday. I wanted them to go 3-0 this week. I'm thinking they win Friday against Detroit at the Garden. They're going to show up to play. They're going to be ready to play. And then we'll deal with it from there. I'm not going to make no long-term predictions right now. Somebody said jinx it, and I think I did, but I'm going to wait on the other rest of the schedule. But right now they have to. Today, they better be talking about film. Brunson especially. Look, there's just no way. You're not going to help us win games by trying to be the star scorer, the leading scorer. No. We need you to be a point guard. That's what they brought you here for. Point guard. And he could do that. He just needs to do that. That needs to be the focus. Be the brain, baby. That's what play to your strengths, right? You're the brain. Play with your brain, not with your emotions, okay? Okay. Hopefully, there's nothing you could do except look at the film and make these corrections. As Tibbs said, like I said, I believe in Thibodeau. Yes. Does he have his negatives? Yes. But y'all want to harp on that instead of harping on what he does well, which he does get discipline out of his players. I believe he's going to do what's necessary to get this thing up to speed for Friday. And again, I still tell y'all, some of y'all can't differentiate because you got so much emotion one way or the other. He could still get fired. He could still get fired. But they've got to come better than this. Some of y'all think they stopped playing for Thibodeau. No, that's not true. Obi Toppin, Emmanuel Quickly, Quentin Grimes, Isaiah Hartenstein, Mitchell Robinson. These guys ain't stopped playing. Jalen Brunson. What's wrong with y'all? Talking about they stopped playing for Thibodeau. This ain't high school. These guys get a paycheck, boy. See? So they playing, but they better come correct. Okay? They got to come correct. Tibbs already pulled Fournier out the starting lineup, and the next step is out the rotation once Grimes comes back, if he really is healthy. I still believe adding him and playing more minutes of him and Quick. See, you can't play everybody. Last night he did go 5 men. With Toppin, Hartenstein, Rose, Fournier, Quickly. Grimes only got 5 minutes. So really, Grimes has got to get 20 minutes like Quickly did. You got to give less minutes to Fournier. Okay. In fact, you got to take Fournier's minutes and give him to Grimes, basically. And so you go from there. Okay. Grimes gets the 20 minutes. Fournier gets the 5 minutes, and then you go Quickly with 20 minutes. I think that's going to help defensively. That's the key problem here. I mean, they got offensive problems, but it's defense, man. That was ridiculous. That was really ridiculous. Okay. So, it's a good night to get right against Detroit at the Garden on Friday. Let's see what happens. But we got embarrassed last night, period. End of story. They just went and got an old-fashioned behind whooping, beat down in Brooklyn. Call it what you want. Okay? They got to come back stronger Friday. They got to make the corrections and, get right. Okay? So I'm still going with a 6-4 record. Now they 0-1 in this next 10-game trip. And, they got to go to Utah and play next week. But right now, let's just deal with Detroit. Let's deal with practice today. All right. Anyway, you'll have a good Thursday. Be safe out there, especially y'all in the path of this storm. So